Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today is the 30th of May, it's Thursday, and today is the last of my subject specific study with me's. And today I am doing English language, which is the one of my A-levels that I haven't really covered so far on this channel. So today I am revising for paper 1 section A and paper 2 section A because those are the two parts of my mock, which is 3 weeks tomorrow. So I'm planning on starting with revising accent and dialect theory because for paper 2 section A we have to know stuff about linguistic theory, which is actually really interesting. And I do think that there are less people doing English language at any of my other A-levels, that I know in general as well, outside of our college, which is such a shame because English language is such a good A-level and I really like it. Yeah, first things first, revising theory. Despite the fact that I'm going to do 2 practice questions today for paper 2 section A, my plan is to also have this be a bit more of a chatty vlog than the other 2 have been, so explain what I'm doing as I do it, because I think whereas with literature, making a mind map, that's quite obvious, whereas with the revising the theory and stuff, it's more, because less people do it, it's a bit more like, what are you doing now? Okay, so my plan for now is to revise my theory for accent, dialects and social class, which I think I said before. And for this part of the theory that we have to know, I've got 8 studies because so far we've done gender and accent and dialect, and there are 3 studies that are linked to both. And because I've done them in gender, because that's what we did first, I've not actually written them down as part of this because I know my gender theory a lot better than I know this, but either could come up in our mock, we don't know. So what I'm going to start with is a little mind map, because that is who I am as a person really, with all the theorists and what they did. And then hopefully I'm going to be able to go round this without my notes and say what their interest was, what the methodology was, what the results were, anything that links to it, and an evaluation of it. If you want me to, if you only knew, I can't only go so far, I can't only go so far, if you want me to, I can't only go so far, I can't only go so far, if you want me to. Because I don't really want to look at them if I can help it while I do this, because this is going to be me trying to go through it and remember what they are about and all that. So I'm going to start with the first one that we did, which I think I ended up doing by myself because I missed the lesson. The results of this were that RP, which is received pronunciation, which is the regionless standard accent of the United Kingdom, that did the best for that was one of the highest scoring ones. It was they liked it and stuff. And the national accents, which are Welsh, Scottish and Irish, were also favoured, but regional accents like Birmingham, Liverpool and Glaswegian were not favoured. But an evaluation of Giles's work is that attitudes to accents have changed a lot since 1970s, so it's arguable that it's outdated in a way, because in the 1970s, RP had a lot of prestige still, whereas now it's taken on some more negative associations like elitism. And the linked studies for this are Purnell, Itzari and Bow, which is 1999. And they did a similar thing, but in America, and they looked at 3 accents. which were Chicano English, primarily spoken by Mexican Americans, Standard American English, and African American Vernacular English. And they had a person speak with that accent as a phone call to a landlord to try and book a viewing for a flat, and the results were that landlords did discriminate based on accent alone because they couldn't see the person, obviously, because it's a phone conversation. And Chicano English was only, people speaking with the Chicano English accent were only successful 30% of the time, whereas Standard American English was successful 70% of the time. And the evaluation of this was, it only looked at the accents and the perceptions of them in one context. It only looked at them through the phone conversation. And its link study is Giles of New York department stores looked at 3 different department stores in Manhattan: Macy's, which was the middle class one, Klein's, which was the working class one, and Saks, which was the upper class one. And he was interested in the use of post-vocalic R, which is seen as prestige formed American English. So he went to the sales assistant and asked them a question which would require the response 4th floor, because that includes the post-vocalic R. And his results were that the Saks employees used it the most versus the Klein's employees who used it the least. But because he asked the sales assistants to repeat themselves, the Macy's employees showed the greatest upward shift, so they didn't necessarily use it the first time, but they would the second time when they were asked to repeat. And the link studies of the New York department stores, there is Norwich study, because why is the Norwich study linked to that? Norwich study also looked at pronunciation because it looked at G-dropping, and Bernstein's work on elaborating restricted code, because it looked at, I think it's because it looked at class as a distinct category, so like there is upper class, middle class and lower class, lower/working class. And that's the evaluation of theirs, is that it only looked at the use of the post-vocalic R in one context, because it only looked at them at work, so they could have been performing occupational identity. It also made an assumption that everyone who works at Klein's is working class, everyone working at Saks is upper class, which isn't necessarily true. Okay. So after doing that for accent dialect, I think I'm going to speed up most of it but leave a little bit of it in, because the way that I was speaking was really rambly and I don't think anyone wants to listen to 20 minutes of me talking about theory, even if you do English. But because you've probably got notes on it already, so you don't really need it. But if I think I'm going to go through the gender theory like that too, because it really helped me, I think, with my understanding of the stuff. And actually I do feel a lot more confident now with the accent dialect stuff, because I know more than I thought I did. Like, I was going through stuff and I was like, yeah, I can't even. But when I was trying to think of it while I was sat like talking at the camera, it was alright, I was doing it. So I now look a lot more egg-like. Very round face there. But basically I got a bit freaked out with today because I did not get to the place that I wanted to be by 5 o'clock. I was meant to finish. It is now nearly 8:30 and I have not done most of the stuff that I wanted to do. But because I did a lot more practice questions for English language in term time, I'm trying to tell myself that it's okay and that I've still got it's my last mark, so I've still got a lot of time to do paper 1 section A stuff, and because it's the last one and it is the one we've done the most work for in lesson, like we've done loads of practice questions and stuff, I need to calm down about it, so I went to have a shower. And to be fair, I do feel a lot better now. And there are some really loud children outside. Okay, if they could be quiet, that'd be nice. But my plan for now is to spend about an hour just going over the gender theory, because that was one of the other things I wanted to do today. Paper 1 can be done either Sunday, because the only thing I've got to do on Sunday is my coursework, editing, final editing, and that's not going to take 12 hours, so, well, I hope it's not going to take 12 hours, because I might cry if I have to spend more than 12 hours on it, because I spent a lot. Yeah, that's just not fun. And I think I'm going to, like, explain how my notes were organised for my theory for paper 2 section A. And yeah, I'm going to have to close the window because they're being very loud, so I'm going to risk overheating. And I can't reach my window, that's not good. Okay, I can no longer hear children, so that's good. And I'm going to face the window now because it's quite nice. So I'm going to hopefully just explain how my notes were organised and why they are that way, because essentially I've written out the thing like 12 times, but it's in different formats and it gets smaller each time. But I'll explain it in more detail in a minute. Okay, so my language and gender notes. So this is how they look in my folder. And the first page is literally just the theories or the studies for that topic, and it's just the title, who it was done by, and the date. And for this topic I have 15 individual studies, and the hope is that I will remember them all. So basically what I like to do is to be able to remember them just from this page, but if I can't, then I have 4 pages of summaries of the notes, and literally it's just about a line for each part of the stuff that I need to know. So there's the interest, the methodology, the results, link studies and evaluation. So that's that. And then while I was learning them, I also had mind maps, which is essentially the stuff that's on the summary sheet in a mind map form as a way of helping me to learn it, because I think writing stuff out and just doing it again and again is probably the best way that I learn things. And if you've noticed, everything is colour coordinated because that's like how I work. So the colours of everything like link up, so everything that I've got on the Norwich study in all of my notes so far is in blue. And then like Jennifer Coates is in pink. There's about 4 pinks, but they're all different. But I'm not sure how well you can see it on the camera. Then I've got Zimmerman and West, which is light pink. Deborah Tannen, which is also pink, but that's like proper like neon pink. And no, the last one, which is also pink, is the Bolton study. So those are my language notes. And the long notes, which are at the back, are the ones that I wrote first when I wrote them up after we'd done them like in lessons and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is go around my like summary, not even the summary sheet, it's just the name sheet. I'm going to call it the name sheet for now because I don't really know what it is. But I'm going to go through this, go through the studies on it, and I'll probably time-lapse this because you've already heard me do it this morning for accent and dialect, so there's not much point in me showing it again. So I'm gonna sign off here because it is now 20 to 10 and I think it's a bit realistically it's a bit late to be starting the practice question because I won't finish it before I want to sleep, and I've got stuff to do tomorrow, but I'm not going to film tomorrow because this is the last of the subject specific ones, so it's kind of over with that. But I have found focusing on a specific subject really useful. I don't think it's something I would want to do in term time. I don't think it's something I would have done at GCSE either, because it's okay for A-level because I only have 3, whereas at GCSE I had 10 different subjects and it just wouldn't work. So these subject specific days have been really useful for me. While I probably wouldn't have done them at GCSE, there was something that I did that involved grouping my subjects. So I'd do maths, physics and electronics on the same day because the stuff that I needed to know for maths and physics kind of linked. Like there was like joint skills, or like English, history and Spanish I used to do on the same day as well, which sounds really essay heavy, but because they were all so linked like really well as well, it was really useful for me. So I hope you found this video at least a little bit useful, motivational. I know it's really helped me filming it because I've just focused so much, and like I don't know, because I feel so much more confident with it because people have been like liking and commenting, and it just makes me feel really happy that like I might be helping people in some way, or even if my highlighters are just satisfying to be honest, Grace. So editing me here, I realised that I just end the video instead of actually saying something like bye guys, so that's fun.